Hello, everybody. This has been so frustrating again. Yeah, let me try to see if I can, I don't even know how to begin. Is anybody there? Once again, I set everything up like I always did before. I even updated my streaming software this morning, which is Ecamm, a very well-known, very easy to use streaming program. And when I went to go live, it said that it cannot access this stream. So I thought, okay, crap. Then I will just try to start a normal live stream. And then YouTube said, sorry, live streaming is not available at the moment. That's only the beginning of the frustration that I've had today. So, but it looks like there's a lot of people here, and I'm very, very thankful for that. If there is somebody still in the comments of the stream that was supposed to be happening, a very special thank you to you for sending anybody over here. And yes, it's so good to see that there are people here. Thank you so much. I see Melissa, I see Jamie, I see Susie, I see Rob, I see Ed, Travels with Cheryl and Ed, Jarantu, Plump Travelers, Aisling, Janice, Christiane, Tom, Superstarian, Jason, Steven, everybody. Oh, thank you so much. And Jason, if you're the one I see here, Aisling saying that Jason is sending everybody over here, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I'm using just the YouTube basic streaming situation here, so there won't be any fun graphics or anything, and no air horn to celebrate the super chats and the super stickers. Sorry about that, but maybe I can. I could do what Tony does. If you send a super chat or a super sticker and you want me to sing part of a song for you, let me know and I will do that. So yes, thank you so much, everybody, for coming over here. Thank you to anybody who was at the first one and came to the second one. I'm gonna have to get this worked out. It's really frustrating because, like I said, I pay money for the Ecamm streaming software every month, and this is the second time now that it hasn't worked correctly, and I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong, something I have set up wrong, or what. But of course, it's frustrating when you're paying for a service that doesn't work, and so I'd like to get to the bottom of that. I literally just got home like 15 minutes before this was supposed to start, and if you look closely on my newly haircutted head, you can see that I still have like a stripe from the hat I was wearing. I need a sip of water, hold on. This is from the cruise. So as part of the quarantine measures, or the regulations, if you travel outside of the country, I live in Germany, when you come back, if you were in any kind of high incidence area, and the Canary Islands are classified as that, even though I wasn't really, there, you are required to go into a self-quarantine period, and within 48 hours of your return, you are required to produce a negative COVID test. Or if it's positive, then of course, then that changes some things as well. So I had an appointment this morning to go get my COVID test done, and I went there, I did the test, got home. About an hour later, I got the results that it was inconclusive, saying it could be one of many different reasons, and that the only thing to do would be to go back and do another one. So and the thing is with these tests, it's a spit test, it's not a nose test, which is good. But you know how hard it is to produce like that much spit on cue? It's not as easy as you think. So because it's a spit test, you are not allowed to eat or drink anything for 2 hours before that. And that just sort of, was like the whole day. Good night, Hari. Thank you for coming. So anyways, I had to go back and do the test again tonight. And I chose to walk there and it's 45-minute walk to get there, 45-minute walk home. I did that twice today. It's cold outside, and I just got the results of my second test, and it is once again inconclusive. So I don't know what that means. And so I've made another appointment tomorrow. Thank goodness that these tests are free. The government is providing them to citizens of Hamburg for free, but it's only the certain kind of test that's free. So tomorrow I'm going to do a PCR test, which is not free, but those are supposed to be a little more accurate. And some people were writing to me privately saying that what it could mean is that actually I'm at the beginning stages or the very end stages of a corona infection. I don't know. My mom's a nurse. I wrote to her. I'll see if she wrote back. She wrote back and has any more information. But yeah, I'm here because I wanted to tell you a little bit about the cruise I just did, about the things I did on it, about the stuff I ate, about the measures in place, how it was different than the last cruises I did during COVID times. And I think that what I will do is just open it up to questions and answer any specific questions about things on the cruise. Of course, if you're just asking, how was the cruise? That could make me go on again for like an hour, and these live streams are supposed to be interactive. So let's do a Q&A, and I will be ignoring any question that has the word favorite in it, like always. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Tracy says that happened to her, not enough in the swab to get the results. Lovely Amethyst writes, that would make me a bit nervous. Yes, I am a little bit nervous. Yeah, I mean, maybe that means that there is like a very small undetectable amount, and that's why it's neither positive or negative. Yeah, Jason Simmons wants to know if there were any cougars on the cruise. There were cougars on the cruise. There were a lot of young families on the cruise, actually, a lot of moms and dads with very small kids, and a lot of gay men. It was a very gay populated cruise. I don't think I've ever seen as many gay couples and just like, let's say, obviously gay men on a cruise before. And it was not like an Atlantis cruise or anything like that. But I was not invited back to any cabins by attractive older females. Plump Travelers asks, I thought you were vegetarian. Yes, I do eat vegetarian. I'm curious as to why you think I'm not. Wild Heart Destinations is asking, how full was the ship? Well, at the moment, they can only book the ship to 60% capacity. And I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly how many passengers that would have been on this cruise, but I know that we were slightly under that because the bicycle tour guide that on the bicycle tour that I did said that on the cruise next week, so the people who are on the ship now, that was maximum capacity. Lee Hamilton wants to know, was the food as good as it looked? Yes, most of it was. Lovely Amethyst asks, how many noodle salads did you have from the Super Healthy Cafe, and were they as good as you remembered? I had 2 or 3 of them, at least. They were very good. Still, though, not as good as the very first one. Isn't that weird? It's kind of like a drug. It's like I keep needing more to get that same feeling. For anybody who's just showing up, I had a little bit of problems with the original live stream. I'm so glad you're here. We're talking about my cruise last week and my 2 inconclusive COVID tests today. I'm just going through and answering questions. I'm having to use the YouTube streaming software, which is a little bit different. And if anybody gives me a super chat or a super sticker and writes the name of a song, I will sing it for you. Ed Korn, did you notice any difference between your first and second cruise on the same ship? Yeah, I noticed that it was fuller. I noticed that the mask requirements were a little bit more strict. On the first cruise, on the top deck, we could take masks off as long as we could keep social distancing. But on this cruise now, it was mask on anytime you're moving about the ship. Aisling wants to know, was this all Germans like the last one? Sorry if you already answered this in previous video. I'm not up to date with them at the moment. No problem. No shame for that. Yes, this was also all people from Germany or who could prove that they had been in Germany for at least the last 2 weeks. Ann Stokes asked, were numbers limited on the lifts? She means the elevators for anybody in North America. Yes, only 4 people at a time, and they had like a graph written on the, I don't know what to call it. They had a thing on the floor to show you where to stand. And that was actually something that I was worried about. I was assuming that most people would just sort of ignore that, but I never was in the elevator with more than 4 people, and quite often, if there were already 2 people in the elevator and we stopped on a floor, other people wouldn't get in. So people were really respectful about that. Ann Stokes writes, were numbers limited? Oh no, that's the question I just read. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up here. How did they seat you as a solo traveler? Solo table or at a larger table with other travelers? They sat me at solo tables, and that is what I would have asked for anyways. But I think at the moment, there are no group tables. I did not see anybody sitting at larger tables. And there was a regulation on board that you can meet with other cruisers, but no more than 4 people at a time, or like 2 families. Barbara Fedler wants to know, do they allow inside cabins to be booked? No, at the moment it's only balcony cabins, and that is one really cool thing about the design of this ship. It's another thing I learned on my bicycle tour. The MeinSchiff 1 and the MeinSchiff 2 are almost exclusively balcony cabins. They have 90% balcony cabins. Is any other ship like that? Melissa wants to know, were you unable to change cabins? Yes. The decision about how to upgrade and if I should upgrade and how much I should spend for the upgrade turned out to be really easy because there was no upgrades available. So I stayed in the cabin I was in. And the next question is from Donnell Rhodes. Did you like your balcony without the sun? It was okay. It was nice to have a little bit bigger balcony, but for me, I mean, of course, it's nice to have the fresh air. It's nice to be able to go outside and sit there, but I just would have loved to have some sunny time on my own balcony. And another thing about the balcony, by the way, on this cruise, that's another thing that was different. Ed Korn was asking before. On this cruise, they allowed people to smoke on their balconies. And that was something that was not available on the first cruise. So that was another reason I didn't spend a lot of time on my balcony, because there were people all around me puffing up a storm, and it was just kind of a bummer. I got a super chat. Lovely Amethyst is requesting the song Be Our Guest. I know what you mean by being like a drug. I feel that way about a poke bowl at my favorite restaurant. So, be our guest, put our service to, you know what? I don't know the words in English. I'll sing some in German for you. Sei hier Gast, was du willst ist unsere Last. Da-da. If you didn't know, I was in the German version of the Broadway musical Beauty and the Beast. You can see about that on my second channel, which is youtube.com/Gutenmorgen. All right, I'm trying to get back to the questions. Thank you very much for that live chat, lovely Amethyst. And thank you to everybody for your support. Remember that I still am doing the Amazon affiliates. It's another really super easy way you can support the very unofficial travel guides. In the description below the videos, there are links to an Amazon store. And if you start your shopping experience by going to that link, even if you don't buy one of the things in my store, I get a little commission for qualified purchases, because Amazon credits me with the traffic to the site. So if you just want to go to the links under the videos, it might not be under this one yet, but under older videos, and then just save the Amazon link in your toolbar or whatever, And then just anytime you need anything from Amazon, start there. Doesn't cost you anything more than usual. Like I said, it's just I get a little commission for it. Anyways, let's get back to the questions here. Travels with Cheryl and Ed want to know, what were the mask requirements on board the ship, pool deck, sunbathing? When could you remove your mask? You could remove your mask anytime you're sitting down. Up on the top deck, on the pool deck, we had to wear it while walking around. But if you're walking like from your deck chair to the pool or back, you know, of course not. You didn't need to wear a mask in the pool. They had limited numbers about how many people could be in the hot tubs and in the pool. And as far as I saw, everybody was very respectful of that. Sandra Smith wants me to tell about the bicycle tour. Okay. This is a free gift I got for doing the bicycle tour, which I thought was a nice touch. I didn't get one of these when I did the bicycle tour on the MSC. The bicycle tour, and you'll see this in the videos, when I went to ask if there were any spots left open for the bicycle tours, the guy behind the counter was like, well, the bicycle tours are something that really book out really quickly, and I don't think there's any spots left, but let me look. And then he looked and he said, okay, there's only one spot left, and it's for the tour, I think it was like on day 4. And then he looked at me and he was like, but I don't know if this is gonna be a tour for you because it's only for really active people. And I was really upset by that remark. However, he was totally right. It was so hard, and I had to quit a few times in the middle of it and push my bike up the side of this volcano. It was the most athletically intense thing I have ever done on a cruise ship. And while it was correct of him to warn me about it, there definitely would have been a better way to say it. Marcus and I have been talking about this. You know, if he had said something like, sure, if you're interested in this tour, let me just tell you about it. It's for very active people. Most of the people who do this tour are people who are bicycling like 20, 30 kilometers several times a week. It's going to be a lot of uphill, and a lot of the people who do it come back saying it was extremely difficult. So if that sounds like something you're into, then I can book you for it, but not be like, I don't know if this is going to be for you because it's only for really active people. Because that is like basically assuming that I am not an active person. And I would like to consider myself definitely an active person. However, I was not in the shape necessary to complete this tour. And you are going to see all of that in the videos coming up. Let's see here. Stephen 666 wants to know, did you tip or leave a nasty note for the waitstaff that abandoned you in the wrong dining room? Hell no, I didn't tip her or leave anything. I just got up and left my half-eaten bread and appetizers there. And in fact, I left a glass of wine sitting there too, as just like a sign, girl, I'm not coming back and you did something wrong. 101 Star Wars fans, right, get an antigen test. That is what I did twice today, and both of them came back inconclusive. So tomorrow I'm going to get a PCR test. For anybody who's just showing up, yeah, I'm going through, I'm trying to answer any specific question about the cruise I was just on. And yeah, as part of the regulations, when I entered Germany again, I had to produce a negative COVID test within the first 48 hours. I have not been able to do that yet. And I really don't know what's going to happen. If the police are going to come knocking on my door and deport me to a hospital in the United States, who knows? As a special feature of this chat, if you send me a super sticker or a super chat with the name of a song, I will sing some of it for you. And it's already been happening. I'm going to probably end up regretting this. Next one here is from LJ Roth. LJ writes, Abba Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia. Here we go again, my, how could I resist you? In German, it's Mamma mia, es geht schon wieder los, wie kann das dann egal sein? There you go. And there's another one here from Gerontu. Here's a special, okay, this is something that I think is really cool because for anybody who's been there from the beginning now, I had trouble with my streaming software again, and I had to like restream now using the YouTube normal streamings like window here. And on this, when somebody sends a super sticker, I can actually see it. And on the streaming software, it's just like the text form, and it'll like say laughing bear or double thumbs up. And Jan Rantu just sent me like a fun little, I don't know, what is that, a doggy? A fox? It's cute, thank you. AJ wants to know, did you see a large difference in the behavior of both the crew and the passengers? Do you mean, well, I mean, there's a big difference now between now and cruising like 2 years ago because everybody's wearing masks. Many people are wearing rubber gloves, the staff. Yeah, but as far as a difference between this cruise during Corona and the first cruise during Corona, I think pretty similar, actually. Kathy L wants to know, can you sunbathe on the upper deck without a mask? Yes, you definitely can. The deck chairs are all spaced out and you're supposed to not move them, but a lot of people did. But still, a lot of space between the chairs, and basically anywhere on the ship, as soon as you sit down and are parked someplace, you can take off your mask. And that is also for the upper deck and for sun tanning. Michelle, Love Beach Sunsets says, yuck. Have they always allowed smoking on the balcony, or is this something new? I want to say that on my first cruise on this ship, which was the first cruise after the first lockdown, that there was no smoking allowed on the balconies, that it was only allowed in the smoking areas like the casino and around the pool deck on certain areas. And that is something that I think was different on this cruise, because there are still a lot of smokers in Germany. I think in European countries altogether, there's probably more smokers than in America. And yeah, so that was a different thing again. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to sing again here. What do we have here? Mark Hogan, no business. Okay, I'm gonna do my best Ethel Merman now for Mark Hogan, for anybody who's just showing up. If you send me, I'm gonna regret this. You send me a super chat or super sticker, I will sing a song for you if you write me one. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. How was that? Thank you. Okay, getting back to the comments here. I wish there was a way that I could show these comments, but I don't know how that works with this version here. Sorry about that. Seemed as though you could go to any restaurant you want, anytime you wanted. True. Yes. Okay, this is another thing that was a little bit different on this cruise than my first and second cruises with MeinSchiff. Now, even more of the activities and things on board are things that you need to reserve in advance. However, the main dining rooms and the buffet were still without a reservation. So yeah, and then the very healthy cafe. And actually this time I didn't go to the late night cafe to get that awful veggie burger. I skipped it this time. Uh-oh, gonna have to sing again here. Sunny Travels, thank you so much for the super chat. Can you tell me about cruising solo now? Can you make friends? What are the bars like? Also, requests all these show tunes. All right, okay. I'm kind of a tenor, so Old Man River is not really easy for me, but Old Man, I can't get down that low. Old Man River, he just keeps rolling. I don't know any more of it right now. Sorry about that. But let me get to your question. Solo cruising, can you make friends? What are the bars like? Well, I want to say that this cruise seemed like the most social of the cruises I have been on since in COVID times. I don't know if it was because it was a lot of sort of younger couples, or because there were so many gay guys on board that I felt like people were more chatty, more talking to each other, especially on the pool deck. I got into conversations with people. But another thing that changed for me on this trip, and this is a good thing, is when in the past couple of years, whenever I've cruised with NCL or Royal Caribbean or Disney, people, some of you have come up to me every day to say hi and that you've seen my videos. And that's something that hadn't really ever happened to me on a German cruise ship. But on this cruise, it happened to me also every day. And I think it's because of all the cruises I've been doing on these German cruise ships. And also I've started making more videos. So now I can also no longer cruise incognito on MeinSchiff, which is, I think, a cool thing. But that might also be a reason that I felt like I had more conversations on this cruise than on my last few cruises, as far as the question here from Sunny Travels. The bars are open. You cannot sit at the bar and order. Well, in some of the bars you could order at the bar, but you can't sit at the bar, which is always a pretty good place to, like get into conversations with people. But there weren't a lot of, like there's no like singles meetings or something like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right. Oh, I've missed a lot here. Sorry, let me go back. Juliet Collins wants me to sing Ease On Down the Road. Thank you very much for that super chat, Juliet. Like I said, I wish with this version of the software that I could like show that in the chat, but I can't. So come on and ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the road. One of the first musicals I was ever a part of. Gaynor Latisse writes, not keen on smoking on the balcony. They did it on Costa. And nice singing. Oh, thank you. The Hangman writes, requested the song Hello Mutta by Alan Sherman. The Hangman, I'm so sorry, but I'm not familiar with that song. I know a lot of pop music, but I don't know that. I'm sorry, but thank you very much for the super chat. Daniel wants to know, did you find there was still enough to do during the days? Well, yeah. I mean, it is definitely different than cruising was like a year and a half ago. There's less trivia, there's less bingo, there's less shows. On this cruise, there were no large production shows. It was only solo and duo, like guest artists in the theaters. So yeah, there definitely is less to do. However, one really great thing about this cruise is that there were excursions available, and I did 3 really different, really amazing excursions, and I cannot wait to show you all those videos, especially the bicycle video that we were talking about earlier. Daniel also wants to know, did you have any evening shows in the theater to attend? I assume in seats spaced out. Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm still here. Yes, like I said, there were only like solo artists. There were 2. There was a magician comedian, drag queen performer, and a opera singer, and that was what was being offered like each night in the main theater. You can only go if you reserve in advance, and you cannot pick your seat. You get there and somebody from the crew will take you to a seat, and then that is your seat. There's no drinking in the theater, and you wear your mask the entire time. Sunny Travel says you need a disguise. Yeah. was talking about how I got recognized, or people were approaching me every day on this last cruise saying that they know me from my videos and that, yeah, I should come up with a disguise. What if I walk around as Stacy Skylar Tessa? Oh, okay. The hangman. Is it hello, mother? Hello, father. I am back at Camp Shuwada. Is it that song? Anyways. Oh, Joe Sanders is here. Thanks for coming, Joe. Joe just got her first vaccination, so happy for that. Yvette wants to know, oh, how was the drag queen singing show? Was it just singing? I have to be completely honest. Even though, where is it? Oh, it's here under the, even though I am a fan of certain drag performers, I didn't go to see the show. Unfortunately, I don't know. I just didn't. By the way, when I hold this up again, are you seeing this the right way or is it mirrored? Because when I'm looking at it, it's backwards, like I'm looking in a mirror. It's the right way? Okay, cool. Thanks, Elidin. Elidin wants to know, do I think cruising will change forever or will go back to the way it was in a year or so? Oh, that's a good question. You know, it's literally $1 million question, I think. I think it's going to take a while before it goes back to like no masks, serve yourself at the buffet. And I have to be completely honest, if it never went back to serve yourself at the buffet, I would be fine with that. I also saw some things that I didn't want to see. And if Don, if you're out there, there's going to be a little special something coming your way, because I know how you get upset about how people act in buffets as well. I need a drink. Sorry, hold on. Woo! It's just water, by the way. I know this might not be a big deal to many people, but I haven't drunk any alcohol now since the cruise. It's been, what, 3 days now? So I haven't had a sip of wine, a sip of beer since the cruise, trying to just cut down on a little bit of calories and take a little break. All right, for anybody who's just showing up, thank you for coming. I just got back from my first cruise of 2021. Will not be the last, hopefully. Another German cruise line has just started cruising again, AIDA. They have some really different and also a really big ship, the AIDA Perla. So it's P-E-R-L-A. If you want to Google it, look it up. I'm going to try to cruise with AIDA sometime very soon. How soon that will be, I don't know. It depends on, I think a big part depends on the results of my COVID test tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to produce some kind of result tomorrow. I want to see what my mom says about it. Hold on, I'll see if she wrote back. Nope, hasn't written back yet. Bobby Holland writes, have you thought about cruising out of Galveston? There's a lot of cool stuff to do there the day before the cruise, such as the Pleasure Pier. Bobby, I would love to go to the Pleasure Pier in Galveston. I would love to cruise out of Galveston. And I have looked at cruises from there before. One of the main reasons it hasn't happened yet is because it's just kind of complicated to get there from Germany. It's usually at least 2 flights. So it's like Hamburg to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to, you know, Dallas or something like that. And it's just much easier to get to Miami or Orlando. So that's one of the main reasons that when I've cruised from the United States, that it's always been from there. Oh, another super chat here from lovely Amethyst. Thank you so much. What do you think about the announcements from Royal Caribbean and Celebrity? Do you think you'll try to cruise with them? Yes, of course I will try, but flying to the States and back is something that at the moment I'm just not cool with. So I probably won't be on one of the very first ones, but never say never. Things could change. I think that it's great news, and I hope they happen. Oh, and your song request was Don't Rain on My Parade. Okay, how does the verse of that go? Don't tell me not to, life's a ball of butter. Don't rain on my parade. Oh, I think I changed keys in the middle of there. Okay, one key change is included in the price. Andrew Rudin says, I'm a Trixie fan as well. Y'all should do a collaboration video. Well, we both went to school at the University of Wisconsin, and we do have some similar friends on Facebook. Like, I know people who know Brian personally, but I highly doubt that Trixie would be interested in having a channel with as few viewers as I have on her channel. But if you can help me make it work, I would love to. Yvette says, I'd love to see the difference between AIDA and MeinSchiff. Yeah, I would love to show you. Sunny Travel says, go through JFK to get to Galveston, you mean? Well, that's still going to be, there's no direct flights from Hamburg to JFK. I would still be flying from Hamburg to some other city, and then from there to JFK, and then from JFK to Galveston or to Dallas. The Hangman says, if you fail the test, where can we send bail when the police take you away? To the hospital? I don't know. Aida Perla has non-smoking balcony cabins on deck 5. That's good to know. But deck 5 is probably the one like right above the lifeboats, right? Wild Heart Destination says, I'm fairly new to your channel. Love it. We'll look for you across social media. Well, thank you for being here. That's very nice of you to come over, and I'm glad that you enjoy it. And there's going to be a lot of, I think, really cool cruise videos coming up soon. So stick around. Oh, Mark Hogan, another super chat. I'm sorry about this one, but I feel pretty. By the way, so jelly about cruising. Who's a pretty girl in that mirror? Where? What mirror? Where? Oh, look at how attractive. Oh, shoot. How does that go again? Such a pretty face, such a charming. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. That's all you're going to get. I have done a fantastic production of West Side Story, by the way. The set was the literal ruins of a cathedral. The theater was set up in the ruins of a gigantic old cathedral here in Germany. RC and Celebrity aren't stopping in US. Maybe there's a way to fly right to the Bahamas. Oh yeah, duh, that's true. And I'm pretty sure there are direct flights from Germany to the Bahamas, probably from Frankfurt. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's just, the thing for me right now is flying to Italy or flying to Spain is still Europe. And I'm a resident of Europe at the moment. And so I just feel more comfortable being at least here in case something crazy happens again. It just feels easier to get home from here than it does from the Bahamas or from Florida. You know what I mean? So that's why I still sort of think about, I still have reservations about that. All right, does anybody have any more specific questions about the cruise I was just on, or about cruising in general? Specific questions, please. Nothing with the word favorite in it. Alidin says, do we just need to donate $4.99 and song lyrics for our own show? Well, try it out. Let's see what happens. How is Chili? Chili? Chili. Let's see if I can get her to come. Hey, Chili. Chili, do you want to come over here? Want to come and say hi? Since, for most of you who've been here for a while, you know we had a dramatic surgery with her where they pulled out all her teeth and then she was throwing up blood. It was really awful. she's doing fine. And in fact, since I got back from the cruise, she has been really clingy, and she's keeping me up all night because I think she gets freaked out when I fall asleep, like when I stop moving, and she jumps on the bed and starts clawing me. And she did it 5 times last night. So if there's any cat psychologists out there, let me know. Plum Travelers says, my apologies, Morgan. I was referring to your Facebook post, first post-cruise beef and cheese burritos. Oh, that's what you meant about vegetarian, yeah. So when I said beef, it's not beef. That was a Impossible Burger that I made like into beef. And don't worry, I wasn't offended. Did you have any trouble getting back to Germany? Biker Babe Niloy wants to know. Nope, no trouble at all. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to end up in trouble now because I was not able to produce a COVID test result in the first 48 hours. You'll see. Lovely Amethyst says, I know you said not to include the word favorite, but do you have an upcoming video from the cruise that was your favorite to make that we can look forward to? Well, they're just so different. There's the volcano one, which has like amazing, there's going to be like amazing shots in it just of being up there and the mist disappearing and then being able to see down like thousands of feet to the ocean. Then there's the bicycle one, which also amazing landscapes, and then just me struggling to keep up with the group and then inevitably giving up. And then the coasting back down from like really high up in the mountains, like 1,500 feet up in the mountains, then coasting all the way back down to the ship. That's going to be amazing to watch. And then we also visited Laurel Park, which is like the SeaWorld of Spain, which turned out to be so fantastic, like really at the level of SeaWorld and Animal Kingdom as far as theming and exhibits goes. I know that's going to be controversial. I've already considered just not adding comments to that video, like disabling comments, but they're like children. I'm looking forward to all 3 of them in their own ways. Joe wants to know, did you swim in the pool? Yes, I did. I swam, but I didn't swim in the big pool. I only swam in the little pool. And I also did go into the hot tubs because there's a limit of only 2 people in the hot tub at a time. And so I was usually alone in the hot tub because most people are there like with somebody else. And then so if I was in the hot tub, there was only one other space. So, haha. Dennis wants to know, did that ship have really good German or Eastern European food, or was it more generic? Well, a really big variety of food, and you can see it in my Instagram posts and on my Facebook posts, and just keep watching the daily videos because you'll see a lot of the food in the videos as well. One thing though that I've missed every time I've been on this cruise line compared to other cruise lines is no Indian food. Only one night did they have like a vegetarian dal tarka or something like that in the buffet. Only one night. And that's something I always look forward to on the cruises. If anybody's just showing up here, we got about 15 minutes left talking about my most recent cruise. I'm answering specific questions about the cruise, and because my chat thing got all messed up here and I can't do any sound effects, if you send me a super chat with the name of a song, I will sing it for you if I know it. Plum Traveler says, that's what I thought, referring to a question about vegetarian food. I tried tofu beef, sorry, not my thing. I do like vegetarian food, but I will eat anything. Well, with anything that's tofu based, you kind of have to season it well. It kind of takes on the flavor of what it's with. And so if you just like have tofu and put it in a salad, it's not going to taste good. Yvette says, well, you did get a result, just not the one you want. Well, not really. The result is no result. So, geez, I can't wait to get this over with tomorrow. Lee Hamilton says, you've had 2 tests, have a 3rd scheduled. It's not your fault. The first 2 were inconclusive. It's not like you haven't been tested. That's true. If, you know, like the quarantine cops do show up at my door and be like, you haven't provided a test yet, I can be like, it's not like I haven't tried, and I have the receipts right here. So thank you for that confirmation. Luis wants to know, how was the weather on your cruise? Did you enjoy some swimming? Was the pool water nice and warm? The weather was fantastic. It was so disappointing to land. First place we landed in Germany was in Munich, and it was snowing. And I mean, I guess it's not untypical that it would snow in March, but the thing is we've already had some really warm spring-like weather here, and now it's back to like 6 degrees and rainy. So the weather was amazing. I did do the swimming. The pool water was cold. Morgan, not me, Morgan Goldberg, hi Morgan, wants to know, did more cruisers do excursions or stay on the ship? I think depending, well, tough to say, good question. I know spots were limited. I know a lot of the excursions were not available. I booked the cruise like 2 weeks before it left. And some of the excursions you could book online over the app, and very many of them were, all the places were already taken by the time I got access. So I think a lot of people did take advantage of the excursions. And nobody's asked this yet, but just to remind you, that was the only way to leave the ship during the cruise, was with an official excursion. You cannot just wander off the ship and go and do whatever you want. Bye, Joe, and hello to Den as well. Bobby says, I'm supposed to go on a cruise in November, and it'll be my first time going to both Belize and Roatan. What are good excursions for those places? Well, those are 2 of the places that I have not yet to be, so I'm sorry, can't really help you there, but I'm sure other people in the comments will be able to give you some good suggestions, Bobby. Biker Babe wants to know, would you redo this cruise with Marcus? Definitely, but I would not go on the bicycle tour with Marcus. I don't think he would do it either. But they do offer that same tour with e-bikes, and when and if I do it again, I will definitely do it with e-bikes instead. Silverine, super chat, with the song request Modern Major General. I'm sorry, I don't think I know that one either. Could somebody help me out? Thank you so much, Silverine. Modern Major General. I don't think I know that one. I'm sorry. Yvette says, quarantine cops. Why do I now see an Allo Allo scene? English TV show. KW says, I missed why you didn't have sun on your balcony. Can you explain? Yes. My balcony, or my cabin, was on deck 11, and the pool is deck 12. And where my cabin was, the pool deck is really wide. It's wider than like most of the ship. And so it was like having a roof, like an extended roof over the balcony that went out like a good another 3 feet, maybe even 4 feet. And that's why no sun came to my balcony. Oh, Jason said that's from Pirates of Penzance. I'm sorry, that's a show that I'm not really familiar with. I'm so sorry. Let me give you a different, like, what's another song? How about, he's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. That's another, has something to do with generals and stuff like that. I hope that's enough for you. The Hangman, also another haircut song by Ray Stevens. Geez, I feel so bad. People are coming up with songs that I don't know. The haircut song, how does that go? By the way, that was one of the first things I did on the cruise. I went right to the barber shop and I was like, how soon can you cut my hair? They gave me an appointment for 8, and I was walking past then earlier, and I asked, is there any way I could get an appointment earlier? And they were like, yeah, come back in 20 minutes. So how does it look? The color looks better now too, doesn't it? The gray's already starting to sort of come back now, but definitely looks better. If you want to know about the whole color fiasco, that's also a video on my second channel, youtube.com/GutenMorgan, GutenMorgan. All right, we're going to get close to wrapping it up here. It is almost 8 o'clock, and I haven't had any dinner yet. I'm getting hungry. Pirates of Penzance, HMS Pinafore. I'm so sorry. I don't know those songs. I don't know those musicals. KW wants to know, did you have any noise from the pool deck in your cabin? No, I didn't notice it, although I was worried about it. Oh, another super chat. First Sergeant Richard says, I like your haircut so much. Here's some dough, Army style. Gotta love it. Thank you, First Sergeant Richard. And if you are in the service, then thank you for your service. The reason I say if you are in your service is because I know some people, come up with alternate personalities for their YouTube profiles. No hate. Bobby Holland says, how was the stateroom on your last cruise? Well, you mean the cruise before this cruise? That was on the MSC Grandiosa, and it was a very similar cabin, but with darker colors. Rochelle and Mike, nice to see you here. They requested a Beauty and the Beast song, Mr. Fork. Well, I've already sang Be Our Guest, so how about okay, I'll sing a song from Le Fou in German. Du siehst ja heute ganz schlecht aus, Gaston, völlig am Boden zerstört. Jeder wird hier gern wie du sein, Gaston, wenn seine Faust er auch spürt. Little German for you. A role that I loved to play. Neil wants to know, I've never been to the Canary Islands. What is the set thing you experience there? Not sure what you mean about the set thing that I experienced, but the Canary Islands are fantastic, and now is a really great time to go because usually the Canary Islands they're desert. It's an arid climate. It almost never rains there, and because they got rain last fall, they're like plants are growing there that haven't grown there for like hundreds of years. They're very green right now, and you'll see that in the upcoming videos, especially the video of the bike ride. First Sergeant says, retired, 34 years. Well, all right. Thank you for those. Thank you for those 34 years. Bobby says, have a good evening, Morgan. Sending love from Houston. Yeah, thank you for coming, and thank you everybody for coming. I'm gonna wrap this up here. I'll just answer a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna get going. Please keep checking back. I'm going to upload the videos basically as soon as I get them done, not really on a schedule. So keep checking, look in your recommendations. If you haven't, press the bell next to the subscription button. That's a way to make sure that they'll get pushed into your recommendations. Humalina wants to know, how was the weather and community atmosphere in the Canary Islands? Well, we were not really allowed to interact with anybody on the islands. We were kept in a bubble, kind of. So I can't answer that question, but the weather was amazing. It was probably like around 20 to 22 degrees every day with a light wind and lots of sun. So 20 to 22 centigrade, so around like 70, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect. Channel 1B says, sorry to just turn you on. Excuse me? Did you get your room changed? No, I stayed in the same cabin because there were no upgrades available, which actually in the end I was happy about because it just made the decision so much easier. When you will be back on live, I don't know. I had problems again setting this up, and I really want to make sure that I get it right before I do it again. So JM wants to know, how's the buffet? Was the staff serving you? Yes, just like always, or just like always in the last year, the buffet was open. It's just like a normal buffet, except that you don't serve yourself. You tell somebody, can I have some of this? Can I have some of this? Can I have some of this? And they put it on a plate for you. So speaking of food, like I said, I haven't had dinner yet. It's 8 o'clock, and I had a really early lunch because I didn't eat anything before I went to do my first test today. So I had lunch at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I guess that's called brunch. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and the stickers. Thank you for jumping over to this alternate chat or live stream again tonight. And I'm so looking forward to sharing these videos with you and reading your feedback in the comments. And just keep checking back, and I will get them online as soon as I can. And don't be surprised if you see some special things showing up in other places on YouTube that I know a lot of you watch as well soon. Okay? So good night, everybody.